These are the best highlights from the matchup between LNG and Rare Atom during the 2024 LPL Summer Split.
Right, Wingizzles, that's the name of that particular fear ability, but still, nice little look in mid lane, even if it doesn't lead to all that much. All the while though, Jue and Xiaohao will be taking the dragon.
Well, that's the first objective of the game, down at least in trade for. Because on one wave, you let Quinn blow phase rush, and then the next wave, you end up killing them when they don't have the slow resist. It's really annoying. Xiaoshu trying to get himself a trade here. It's a conquer on that Renekton. That won't save him here, though.
He gets slammed into a wall, and that combo is just so disgusting. But now
yeah,
he'll satchel charge.
You can, in fact, so you can tell the icon above the turret.
I did see that.
Also, if you level satchel seconds, the execute range goes up as well. So there are some that in the near future. Can we talk about the Dragon now, Sam, so we don't have to talk about my spending habits on our rematch?
We probably ought to. LNG, I think you're coming on over, and I will rescue Alex from his, I call it shame, but I think it's just decision-making. The Dragon! Tempted steal there from Scout and a little bit.
I feel like this is a bit of Safari League of Legends. You walk up, you spectate, you have your binoculars, you see the Herald going down, and you do nothing about it.
How extraordinary, says David Attenborough, somewhere out there. This Ziggs is going to hit like a truck.
Yeah, Ziggs is like, I just had this vision of like him putting on the mask and picking up the Luden's gun and he's going on a rampage. Folks, someone stop him. We know what Gala can do. They have themselves a slanting Lullaby. The ult over the top.
Vikla down at 10% HP. The burn is so annoying.
But LNG have just as good though to give up that much.
So all I'm saying is, if this was my residence associate,
if you manage to get the Q into the auto, then you do get that exposed weaknesses, which can help your big carries do a lot of damage. And I think on the other side, if you look at the carries being behind from Rare Atom, you think, actually, that makes a lot of sense. You're less tanky without that Celestial opposition, but it might just help you get the first kill like this.
Try and blow out Leona that's been so annoying to deal with. The Tompkins go down, don't get that much value as that flash over the wall from Hung, but there's a Severing Bolt afterwards, and the Baron aggroes the Rocket! Makes that a 1-for-1.
It does! The Baron gets out. Very much carry these fights.
Okay, Dragon started. Sway goes forwards. He's been very aggressive with the plays. The turnaround comes on through. Skarner tries to get towards the backline and Gala flashes away. Zucker, feared but not down. Sway is dead. The Impale comes on through, but it's only over the Nautilus. Not the best ever. The Viego died before the resets can come on through. Jinx in the backline is burning down, flashing away from the blooming blow, and the burn won't quite finish her off. Xiaoshu needs to run away. Rocket is stopwatched as Wei shows the way and gets bit of a style point onto the Jinx.
Wei very nearly burns down both carries. Vikla makes it out. Zoom sadly doesn't. That's going to be bang towards that Dragon. We have ourselves the first big fight of the game. And Rare Atom can't make much out from that goal difference. It feels like with the item differential, LNG are going to completely walk away with this 5-man Baron. They'll be able to reset. They might lose themselves the Dragon for taking the Baron. But I think
wonder whether that into an auto might have been enough to bring down Wei, who has had a really good game, and you called it out, like he is obviously a historical Lilia player, and he's showing why the champion can still be in. Some of our other junglers have yet to.
I'm pretty sure the character in Bambi is just the hunter, which kills Bambi's mom. That's actually how he's referred to in the scripts as well. But see that Gala doesn't even need that kind of standard munitions. It's bringing much more heavy caliber. Starts throwing out the munitions towards that backline. As we said, they gave up a Dragon.
And finally, we might see a turret response on the other side for the first time in a little while, but it's an outer turret that's still taking a while to go. And on the other side, Satchel Charge and Corki will do a lot of work to turrets.
Yeah, it feels like LNG, they have just very easily just said to RA, we're going to keep pushing towers. What are you going to do about it? The answer is not very much in this case. Rare Atom have really gotten to the point where they've just failed to fight at all of the big calling cards. They have very much been spectators in this game.
Base broken in the bot lane.
They're stalling. They're stalling, all right. They're trying to get towards, I don't know, 4 items on the Jinx, and maybe that could carry something, but it's, yeah.
Well, at the very least, Jinx just finished a third, which of course is a big break point, so they've got that at least, but they can afford to give up some of those dragons. The Xiaoshu's just flash W, the shield is broken, gets the Impale onto 2, into the Solar Flare, is pretty good. That could put Scout in a difficult position, got Ignite now on him as Xiaohao coming for the flank and look for an ult, especially as he slowed down. Vikla gets taken down, but Xiaohao cannot steal the body because wasn't involved. And now Zucker in a 1v3 duel doing lots of work does eventually fall, and it's a 2-for-2.
2 for 2, but...
Scepter and just hits level 16, so does manage to heal up off the wave at least.
Oh, that's true. Well, that's the bonus of the Vamp Scepter. Here goes Dway, but they don't manage to catch through the Merc Treads of Scouts.
Some damage back now, Dway in danger. The teleport behind is going to be brutal. Assume immediately begins to turn tower. Xiaohao ults over the wall, but there's a depth charge following him. Wei, blooming bursts. And a watch out eat eviscerates enemy players. Looking for a little bit more. Can continue to find a few more of those Qs. They get the kill and they'll back away. The front line completely gone for RA.
Xiaohao does have flash, but the HP bars are looking a little bit suspect there from Rare Atom. An ult from Ziggs goes towards mid lane as well and massacres the carries of RA. Doesn't actually end up getting the kill, but the damage should be enough. Yes, the Jinx ult comes back as a bit of a love tap, but it won't stop the Baron going down. And LNG, I mean, love them or hate them, this team
been able to find the angles on the Skarner in the team fights. Yeah. So if you Merc Treads the Leona, then what's the threat left? And there's still the Mikhails to manage. Xiaoshu again on a flank, but the Scorpion's a known quantity. The Crushing Maul's okay. Does get to enter the backline, but the blooming blows and Scout picks up a kill there. But Lilia helps start. Vikla on about a third HP, running out of his own base to try and survive. It's a good Grim Visage to force Zucker away, but LNG says you're going to have to come back because we'll start attacking your Nexus turret. Xiaohao burning down, not quite dead. Hungry low, Scout bounce over and drags people to Valhalla. Blooming blows gets Jinx. The damage is gone. Game, set, and game 1 match.
LNG walk away with the first game against Rare Atom. It was a slow one, but Rare Atom basically just didn't contest them. That'll be the next. RA will try and lane swap, even though they have that very strong lane of the Varus and the Nautilus versus the Senna and the Ornn. I think that is a good lane for them. You need to is the top laner.
Yeah.
Ignore what's saying on the actual position of the icons.
I was trying to be gentle. I was like, you know, I see the point, and you'd be absolutely right. But Vayne's running Ghost, which obviously makes sense. Vayne with Ghost has become increasingly.
Reasons why I'm not a big fan of him. Hung's actually had a really good all-in here. He doesn't have the level 6 just yet, but just switch over to the Ignite. There could be an all-in, and there's an all-in in mid lane.
Mind all of these musings about absolute random nothing.
There was the Ignite.
Bot lane down about 10% HP. The pots kept him high enough, but there's still a flash and another knock-up. And Hung the...
I mean, the Dragon was likely going over towards LNG anyway. The Lilia team tends to go towards Grubs because they take them so quickly and then they go back to farming their own jungle. Or in this case, go towards farming the enemy red buff very, very quickly. So LNG, it's a nice extra bit of gold towards Hung. Huge value.
She's waiting for the glooming blows, and that means a lilting lullaby afterwards will roll away under the turret. Could still be in a lot of danger. Trying to play this one out, but all out, and it's a well-played gank. But the other side immediately responded and assumed dies. Teleport from Scout towards mid lane to clear the way afterwards. And LNG are swift with their own play.
No, this pick doesn't always bring you that dopamine of hitting a tank over and over. You do need to be ahead of the game. It's going to be first turret of the game going over towards LNG. On the other side, Scout, of course, he went back towards mid lane. Won't be able to defend both lanes, though, as top lane gets crashed into all the... Bit dated now, and it's kind of sad for me as AD carry on going on the top side.
Ooh, that's a little good buster shot there. Zucker not really having space, trying to get the Condemned, does so, but Xiaohao is here, and a swirl-sealed splash off the minions brings down Zucker for a second time. Where for a while, him and Prince looked like these absolute gods amongst men, and then again,
fell off quite hardly.
Fell off the cliff, yeah. And now over on Rare Atom, he has had similar experiences on us where he's had moments where he looks fantastic and they can start doing things like this. He's not even going to need to be involved. They want to donate it, I think, but instead, Xiaohao waits to allow the burn to go high, but that looked very dangerous for a moment. Remember yesterday, NIP doing that in that spot multiple times?
Yeah, that was a big one. Now, no flash on Dway, and they don't have the ult. Here's the counterpunch.
Gonna manage to get another couple flashes out. Now Xiaohao, there's a lot of Xiaos in this game, trying to play this one out. Hung a little bit too deep and goes down.
That was meant to be the counterpunch from LNG. That could have been the big fight. They just blew so many summoners and ults from RA. Look for a pick. Only forces the flash out of Assume. Can't get the kill, but does defend the tower.
And RA don't die, but they blow every summoner that isn't Xiaoshu's. That's how what they need to do. But now
Scout.
The problem is, all those tools, all those flashes that kept people alive can start to do this. This is what Lilia allows you to do when you've got a bit of a siege comp. You can't just stand there because it was actively made. It wasn't a choice to run it into there.
Weiwei's going forward. Assume no flash. There could be a pick.
Massive Dawning Shadow afterwards. They bring down the Varus. Big moment. Weiwei gets healed. Vikla going forward, but has a flash immediately away. That was a bit bold. Looking to go forward to Hung onto his own pillar. Can't quite land at the wall. to separate people out, and it's a man advantage for LNG.
And the thing is, if they had the freaking Herald they had just before, they could have taken this turret. Xiaoshu's going forward again. He might just get forced out.
He does have a W, not very tanky. The lilting lullaby can maybe come on for. Xiaoshu goes all out onto Wei, but he gets knocked away and survives. Vayne gets the kill, and now Xiaohao needs to run away. It's not a Xiao Wei, that's for sure. Needs to now maybe find a blast cone to get on out. Lily is still speedy enough to run.
And you've got Xiaohao, Xiaoshu, but Xiao, why did you go for that? It felt like they could have just given up that one kill onto Assume, played for the Lilia ult coming just beyond that point. They didn't have to look for the next round of it. They could have just defended their mid lane turret. They're calling the lane swap. They're the ones responding to it. I think they struggled to put that into perspective. Scout caught with another ult. There's no cleanse for him. That's an ult.
My days. Gets out though. They go quite deep. There's a big choke point for all of the knockups, all of the railguns. Tristana dead already. Nautilus dead already. They lose a jungler. Xiaoshu goes over the wall and avoids the seismic shove. He's now been on a blue trinket. Zucker finds a final hour and brings down the tank in the top lane.
Oh, Zucker just in queue and shreds through the members who've been knocked up and CC'd by the rest of LNG. The Baron's gonna go down. The gold has swung much more into their favor than it was from that deficit before. I think this Baron will finally get them ahead of this game, and a few fights back to back, it has felt like RA have just completely misplayed. Teleport back in, might try and clean up some Baron snacks.
There was not a jungler there, so Xiaohao was very close to getting raided for a smite there. But now they need to try and recall. Someone needs to get here. They're teleporting on it. I think Zucker will be a sacrificial lamb. She gets one out. They'll try and play out for somebody else. Xiaohao actually has to go golden. Does survive 2 dead, but they do get towards the dragon. We go. Cloud Soul could be pretty good for this team, particularly a Vayne.
Another Swell Seed lands, times it out, applies it again.
Still alive. Zucker burned, but not down. Wall comes across. They really want this dragon.
Xiaohao has been doing some insane work with these Swell Seeds. Even though that ultimate doesn't lead to a follow-up, it buys the wall. The dragon's going down. This will be soul for LNG, and it's RA on the dragon.
They decide to pull away. They don't have the item completions. Just back away.
Engage, they're walking up yet again.
Try and find something. The turning shadow comes across, Assume taking a half HP. Wei goes forward, Wei has to flash into the pit. The Baron is still doing the Lord's work for LNG. Tries to get the backline, does Cassandre flash on forward for Xiaohao. Damage back, so Scout somehow to the backline. Buster shot away from Zucker, who went to look for the kill and dies for it. Both Solon is dead for LNG.
The burn still ticking on Hung. Should be running forward with those Qs stacking up time after time. Xiaohao so much movement speed. Maybe with the flash away they'll make it out. Gala trying to turn back some damage. RA, they're looking for the end of the game.
They are going to run down the mid lane with the wave. They've got every member alive. I think we're going to game 3.
I think we are too. Even though Xiaohao couldn't quite get the game-changing ult in the fight, the damage was done. LNG fell too far behind themselves this time. A difference of early games leads to a difference of results. Rare Atom walking towards the base.
It looked like LNG had found their way back into the game. A Baron, a fight, and a moment of light. But Rare Atom finally find what they were looking for, what their early game decreed they should get. Was there with the Jax support flex,
Also,
but not the Talia jungle flex. I don't know what's going on in my brain today.
You just don't see it in the fruit shoot fight for side league. You just don't see it. Vikla is a 2v1.
Brand, you normally want some items, but your ability to just dump a load of CC and burn onto people from miles and miles away means you can do some fadeaway shots like that and Gala.
That's a great point. Sam, literally the only person I can think of is Nico, because she'd turn herself back.
It's just Victor. I've turned myself into a robot. Nico case.
Behold the glorious Piccolution. Gonna see the iceberg crash into the HMS Xiaoshu.
This tower dive can't sink,
Here
surely.
comes TF.
Alright, it'll be the 3v2, because Xiaohao is here, but doesn't manage to zone someone off the tower. The damage back is pretty good. The W's not bad, but the burn is pretty good. Counter-strike.
When Scout is on a champion with an obvious play condition, LNG level up so easily, man.
Yeah.
This team, whenever Scout is on the...
Laid out this early game immaculately, and Rare Atom, the few plays they've made just haven't worked.
And with the Herald going over, once again, uncontested, this will be mid lane turret almost certainly falling beyond this.
Get quite tricky. What does have multiple meanings, though, is the fact that Dragon is spawning and everyone apparently wants to fight for it. They've tried to pick a Hong, and it's not gone well. The Rel is dead. The TF has pressed R, begins to summon on in. Vikla gets gold carded into Solar Flare, and he's got a really bad sunburn.
Oh man, should have applied some of that SPF. and it feels like, yeah, alright. They just don't have the damage, they don't have the setup, they don't have gold anywhere. LNG in the 2 games where the early game has kind of now just built up from Scout.
But it doesn't feel like that much has happened to you, if you know what I mean. We're not seeing massive skirmish led, and this is lots of good laning. Gala actually had a really good lane in bot lane.
Trench too long will finally be pushed back at the cost of RA kind of been bleeding out through the rest of the map for so many minutes. It's 20 minutes of any ammunition. Like, that's easy to use. It's very hard to set up, and they only have 1 shot at it too. And while all this is happening, you know, I mean, RA haven't had to withstand the Twisted Fate ult for a little while. You have to remember that's in the back pocket. Zucker is winning the 1v1 versus Xiaoshu, hits himself the Q3, which maybe doesn't work out so well. He has himself the extra shield coming through. They're going to take down another turret. 6 grubs makes their job. Such a good Isengard!
All thank must fall, but Rare Atom will now instead make this Helm's Deep if they can. They need to breach the back of this Baron Pit wall and look to steal away the prize that lies within.
What is Zucker doing?
Zucker might well die for this and does so. Burns out finally. Jin gets that one, but it's 1 for Baron, which is perfectly reasonable. The curtains are called. Trying to get a hold of Hong. Misses 2 shots. 3. 4th hits, though, and that'll be a 2nd kill.
Only the 4th shot hits, but that's the only one which matters. LNG can again just force one of these fights. Hung has himself that solar flare and it comes through.
Okay, cleanse out on a Soon, but now Zucker looking again at the backline. The W comes on through.
Xiaoshu
to the backline. Vickler lands. A big fate to you. Wei needs to back away. Dead. Brand down. They're trying to get another one. They got Gala. They're going to get a 3rd. And Rare Atom just win a team fight. 8,000 gold down.
I think it was 10,000 start at the start of it. Oh my god, LNG! No. They might have just thrown the whole game. Baron and then Dragon. LNG cannot team.
A team that should have no right winning anything.
We just said earlier in the game, well, alright, they have like 1 shot where maybe Vickler gets a big ult and Xiaoshu gets onto the backline. They find that 1 shot. They're gonna get themselves a couple of turrets, get themselves the dragon, get themselves a lot of
Jax, Yone, Jin, all scaling very well on current items, but Baron.
Here comes over to the Baron. They don't have the Twisted Fate ult to spot out the flanks. Vickler can come on the flank. He has flash. I think he can get ults.
Oh, they get the Baron, but what about getting out? This gets very tricky. He doesn't want to go for it. They want to play for Dragon, don't they? Look at Xiaoshu, though. Can maybe find the angle. Gets into the backline. The ult afterwards only gets onto 1. Vickler still gets over the wall. Gala running. Goes down. They make it a 2 for none. Wei needs to get out of the counter-strike and can't. Goes golden for a moment. And Rare Atom find a miracle game, the rarest of all, a triple for Jin, and an upset that had no right to occur.
Scout is going to walk forward, try and take maybe 1 kill off the board, try and use the Baron buff to defend the game, but he's just flashed out. If he gets hit by 1 slow, he could have just died and ended the game would have ended afterwards. He gets closer. It's not going to be the game, but it will be Mountain Soul and maybe an inhibitor. LNG fall apart around the Baron, around one of these big objectives yet again.
Scout survives, but the rest of the army, those important members.
Tanky is Leona, but still quite tanky. That can be quite important. Xiaoshu, I mean, he's pretty happy to just keep walking back. He has Zhonya's. This is an overforce.
Coming down. They're going to now put Hung into a difficult position. The gold card coming on through this might still make this an interesting fight. The RA in slightly awkward position, but Xiaoshu still exceptionally annoying. Grandmaster by running. Asum, though, hit by the Kasante. Finally get the right champion name. And Xiaoshu still in a 1v3. Winning out finally falls, but it will still be just the top lane as traded.
And Xiaoshu using the
a pretty tricky scenario to manage. Baron up, started 40 seconds on Elder, RA on the Purple Worm this time around.
And it really does feel like LNG have one last team fight on the Baron. It gets taken by RA.
Vickler goes over multiple people. It's got the Gia, remember, so even if they die, it's not as clean as you think. Wei with the Manning Storm, flashed away from Scout. Vickler alive again. Pulled out of the counter-strike is Zucker with an all-out. Now in a dangerous position, but Wei is dead. The brand is gone. The burn is not there. The fire is being stopped for LNG. Zucker can do no more than try and throw an Untombo strike out. But what is that to a boulder to the face?
And RA is going to come back off of taking the Baron. They don't lose a member, and they're going to go from LNG. But I don't think they can wave clear. I don't think they can survive against the double flashes of the solo laners of RA.
Clearly, LNG haven't been watching TikTok. The emotional damage is significantly harder at this point. I don't care what items you have. I don't care how your early game went. It's still Rare Atom proving their value. The periodic table could never. They'll be going 2-1 in the series.
It was hard fought, but those are always the most sweet victories.
These were some of the best highlights from the 2024 LPL Summer Split matchup between LNG and Rare Atom. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.